time, and maybe they still do. At one time, the Board of Water and Light in Mid-Mac, I believe, did a river cleanup. Do they still do that?
They are not at this point in time, but they definitely hope to get back into that. And they were also doing some aquatic invertebrate sampling, which was a big help in keeping track of the health of the Red Cedar River, which does have some issues in terms of E. coli, and is constantly being monitored for that. It gets some runoff from our agricultural area.
I just wanted to mention, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Laura.
I just want to mention this little grant that DART has right now. Apparently they have some money left to spend for storm drain kind of pollution prevention. So I put the link here. And so if you know of other communities that might want to access that, their year is ending and they want to spend the money that they've set aside for protecting storm drains. So just a related note, might be something to consider. Go ahead, Sarah.
Do you know if there's certain areas, you know, I am part of the Facebook page, and there's a tree down here and there. Are there certain parts of the rivers in the area that have more trees down, in terms of like the trees are closer, so they're more of an issue, or is it just kind of everywhere? I mean, are there some spots where the trees aren't as close? Are there I guess my question is, are there certain areas where it's like, it's just a regular happening where the trees are down?
I don't know. I guess around Potter Park, that seems to be an area where we have a lot of downfall.
And then when they're down, is it a matter of volunteers doing it, or is there a certain somebody that comes in to fix it?
No.
Like, is there a
that's one of
system,
the
a
hardest
protocol
parts.
in place for how that works? You know, like,
No,
okay.
no, I wish there was. It can be really challenging. In fact, we're also working with the National Park Service, and they're very effective at training volunteers, but you can imagine, like, you know, all of these cities own that area next to the river, and they can't condone sending volunteers with chainsaws. Like, they have to be trained and you know, supervised. And so there's some things that you can do with volunteers, but not the really big trees. So sometimes it's the Drain Commission, sometimes it'll be the city, sometimes it'll be the railroad. Like, it really will grab from as many potential places as possible that could help with that.
But there's no standard, this is who goes in at this place or this area or whatever.
No. And both with land trails and water trails, that is the biggest challenge for a trail, is the maintenance. Because if, you know, people love trails, but we don't want to make them something that you have to pay to use. But then that means that there's no fund for that trail and for that maintenance. So ideally, as part of this effort, we'd be setting up some kind of funding mechanism that would help with that in the future. So there would be a protocol and a go-to plan.
Thanks, Amanda. This has been really good. Any other questions? Appreciate the spontaneous. Actually, I think you mentioned the desire to do this at the last dialogue, and I would have been better at promoting it. But maybe we can get an update in a month or two and do a more formal promotion of it.
That'd be great. I'd definitely be interested in that.
And you sort of answered Sarah's question that started the whole dialogue. So Sarah, thank you for
well, sorry for
inspiring
not
that.
sorry for starting there and not, sorry about that. I
That's a
forgot that
great
Amanda was
s-
starting.
It's a great segue. What
And
else? Go
probably
ahead.
in that month time, maybe I could combine that with updating everyone on our regional trails plan, land trails. But I'd like to, we have a few more community meetings, and I would like to have the proposed routes a little more finalized to bring to you guys.
And who's the lead in terms of who organizes the trails and how those interact between the communities too? How's that set up then?
Do you mean the water trails or the land trails?
The land trails. Oh, is that what
Um,
you were talking about? Was the water trails or the land trails?
The land trails.
Okay.
So we've long recognized as a regional planning agency that we have a lot of excellent trails in the area, but that they don't connect to outside of our area. And we have 3 major, more statewide or again, a larger regional trail that we have the potential to connect to. So we're working with every municipality and township in the Tri-County region to see what their plans for trails are, and if we can work together to connect to these larger regional trails, and then hopefully also build spokes down to the communities that do not have them. Like for instance, Leslie is very trails active, but they're not really connected to any of our other cities at this point in time via trail.
Fascinating.
Well, I mean, Ingham County's got a trails millage. Do other counties have trails millage, or is that pretty unique?
It's very unique. Everyone's very jealous of us.
Oh, yeah, I could see why. Yeah.
Yeah. And in
Money
fact,
helps.
the road, the one of the reasons why this water trail effort is having success and momentum is because the Ingham County Trails Millage is going to fund the wayfinding. So we're working together right now to decide where those signs are going, where the landings are, and how we're designing our signs to have that matching logo of the Middle Grand and the Upper Grand. So yeah, it makes a big difference.
Meridian has a pathway millage. I wonder if this would be an eligible application of some of those funds.
Mm-hmm.
We've had one for 20 years that has helped support a really nice network of trails.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe at the Harris Nature Center landing location.
Do you
Right?
have any
Isn't that in
idea?
Meridian Township?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how much that millage is for? Like, and how often it has to be?
It's
Really?
$359,029 a year. No, I don't. Just kidding.
And like how often it has to be voted on?
It does get extended every so often. I don't know the status of it, but maybe Brian.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not off the top of my head anywhere near. I'd have to look into that.
I don't
no,
remember
we're
voting.
putting a
for it.
lot of that into extending the pathway through MSU, River Trail Extension, kind of connecting Meridian with East Lansing.
Okay.
So that's been a long multi-million-dollar project. I don't
Do you
know
think
that there's extra resources available, but it might be worth exploring.
Do you think that would be on the Meridian Township website about that
Yeah.
millage?
Yep.
What is it? It's the what? It's the trail millage?
I think it's the trail or pathway millage.
Okay.
Leroy, have they started construction on that area from Grand River to Okemos Road?
Grand River to Okemos Road. No,
On the
no.
campus connection. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of work happening in terms of easements and permissions and planning. I think there's been some tree removal, and yeah, I could find out more about that.
Just curious, I mean, almost that whole area is in a nature preserve, so that I'm referring to.
Yeah, I love that area. You can navigate it on a bike right now, but
Where are you talking about? Where is that?
there's a pathway behind Campus Hill Apartments and kind of near where the service center is. If you cross Okemos Road, across from the service center, there's a little pathway that runs between there and Campus Hill Apartments, and
Oh, yeah.
that's largely where some of that trail will be, and it will continue. It will cross near Park Lake. There'll be a light there and kind of go behind Foods for Living, I think.
Oh, okay.
To circle back to Sarah's question, I'd like to claim credit for writing such an eloquent message to the chat, but I copied and pasted that from the website that I also posted there. It's from Parks and Recs Commission. It gives you kind of an overview of the Parks Millage.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Sure.
that. 12 years and okay. So it's, well, no, we've got a couple more years on it.
We did get a request yesterday, and hopefully we'll be visiting the Parks Commissions with our regional trails plan. So we'll be sure to let everyone know about that when that happens.
Excellent. We're kind of wrapping up on 10 o'clock. Any other questions? Kim or Tom, you have been very quiet, but it's nice to see your face, Kim.
No, not for me, just very informative. So glad to hear about the river trail.
Mhm.
Great. Well, come back next week. We will have Ben from Bending Tree Farm talk about his native plant raising, and that'll kick things off, and then we'll go from there, see how the conversation unfolds.
Where's that farm located, Leroy?
It is in Diamonddale.
Hmm.
I'm not sure exactly where.
Okay.
But we will find out next week. I hope you can all tune back in. Amanda, thank you so much. And Sarah, for your great question. Bring your questions next week, and we'll see some of you later this week in various committees.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.